I'm ready. I think I'm ready. It's been a while. You know, sometimes we wait for the perfect mood, for the perfect opportunity to present itself. Well, I mustn't do a podcast unless I have the house to myself and pure silence, and I'm not sick, and I have my voice, and everything falls into place. How rare is it that everything just falls into place for us to do what we want? Sometimes you just gotta shove a puzzle piece anywhere in the puzzle. Doesn't fit here? Then make it fit. Jam it in like little kids with puzzles. Just jam that shit in there. Who cares that Papa Smurf's nose is connected to Grumpy Smurf's ass? Just let the puzzle piece go where it needs to go. So let's shove one in. Let's shove an episode in. Let's reflect a little bit. Let's become grounded. Let's become centered. Let's have a moment of zen. Breathing in. Oh boy. Nope, I couldn't do my exhale without saying, oh boy, something's wrong with me. Something's wrong, folks. It's all bubbling up. It's a level of intensity that's about to go through my brain, out of my mouth, and into the mic. So I hope we can just all congregate and realize that we're all a bunch of dumb fucks doing our best, aren't we? We're doing our best. I was driving across the Golden Gate Bridge recently, and I'm like, it wasn't too long ago that we didn't even have the center divide. Do you remember this? Us dumb humans just created this bridge where most people are going, 55, 60, and there's no divide. What did they call it? Do you remember? Let me test your knowledge of old school Bay Area bridges. What did we call it? Yep, we called it the suicide lane. Are you going to drive in the suicide lane? We just casually called it the suicide lane. This is on the topic of humans doing dumb stuff, very dangerous stuff, and not realizing until you finally make the fix that we could have done that a long time ago. We didn't have to just keep saying, hey, avoid the suicide lane on the bridge. Just get in the middle. No, we could have built the divide. But now what's scary is if you get too close to the divide, you're like, is this still the suicide lane? Because that divide looks like it could just destroy me, like a car could destroy me. And how about the machinery that picks up these big cinder blocks and moves the divide? I mean, God, our industry is phenomenal. We're dumb as shit, but then we're smart. Humans are such a duality. We're so dumb. We just have this bridge with a couple suicide lanes for 80 years, and then we fix it because we were able to build the technology to make it safe. How complex are we? Seriously, humans, we value human life more than anything, right? And we also devalue human life at the same time more than anything. Look at us. How could our group, our dumb group of humans simultaneously do this whole we value everything? We celebrate our birthdays and our graduations and our milestones. We have big celebrations. We have quinceaneras and bar mitzvahs and confirmations and baptisms. And we're also beauty in the eyes of our family and the Lord. And then we just have a bunch of people killing a bunch of people every day, like we're just a bunch of termites crawling around this little rock called Earth. It's happening at the same time. Like right now, the way you value your day means a lot to you. And the people in your family, they mean so much to you. And then you read the newspaper and you're like, another massacre, another bomb dropped. There's more rubble throughout the Middle East. Okay, we got heaps and heaps of deaths. And you're like, it's the same being. Homo sapiens are the ones that cherish our lives so deeply and the ones who still have the ability to go to war and just create massive amounts of casualties. When I say we, I realize these are more governmental decisions where humans are used as pawns. It's not like all the humans fighting in these wars really want to be a part of that, but you get swept up in it because I guess the leaders throughout history are a little bit bloodthirsty and aggressive. It's just if you ask me. But going back to the Golden Gate Bridge for a moment. The suicide lane was removed, and then to the right of the bridge, they have all this netting, right? They used all this money to say we're going to reduce suicides, and it worked. I read an article that says it worked. Less people are committing suicide on the Golden Gate Bridge. Does that mean that those people who were suicidal, great topic to start the podcast. Hey, let's talk suicide. But does it mean the people who would have killed themselves on the bridge now know that the mechanism below the bridge would not allow that, so they continue to live? Or are they killing themselves elsewhere? And the reason I ask, I know that's Probably a discouraging topic to open up. But the reason I ask is, should the article that I read explain suicide rates in general? Or are we just talking about the bridge? Like if we just removed that ability. So the bridge, it's improved quite a bit. What's next? What's the next thing we're going to do to make this bridge safer? How about, let's bring back the toll booth workers, the people who are inhaling all of our toxic emissions every day. That's the not too distant past either. How many of us remember humans in toll booths? I know it's not like that long ago, but these people just stood there all day, and the nicest thing you could do is like, hey, here's $5 and another $5 for the car behind me. And then they'd wave, and that was a good moment. Let's bring back that moment. That feels good. That's good for the soul. It's not good for the health of the toll booth worker. Toll booth Willie. Hey, Willie. But we need moments like that. Okay, good. So you got the barrier in the middle, you got the nets on the side, and let's bring back the toll booth workers so we can at least communicate with humans and not just robots. That's the opposite of what we're going to be doing in the next 30, 40, 50 years. Where are we going? What are some things like in 30, 40, 50 years, they're going to look at what we're currently doing and go, oh, humans were dangerous. Things like, wearing high heels. Aren't we destroying the feet of women throughout this great country and planet? If you've never put on high heels, put them on. Just put on a pair of high heels. I don't care what you are. Whatever gender. Just put them on. Humans are going out that way? What? What are you doing? What else are we doing? We're carrying around these phones, clearly going to create cancer in all of our body parts. We're putting earbuds in we're all going to be deaf in our 70s and 80s. We're all going to be so fucking deaf. We're all going to be signing to each other. What are we signing? Shouldn't have lived my life with the AirPods, headphones, earbuds in at all times. Destroying your eustachian tubes. Oh, he pulled out a nice medical term. You didn't think I had eustachian tubes in the arsenal. I got it. Yeah. Actually, that's why I haven't podcasted for so long. I've had tinnitus, and you're like, it's pronounced tinnitus. And I'm like, I'll call it tinnitus. Are both pronunciations acceptable? Like syrup and coupon and roof and roof? Who says rough? Yeah. Ball got stuck on the roof. Some of you do. Had tinnitus for 3 full days. Tinnitus. And I was like, is it because I have earbuds in? Should I never put anything else in my ear? Is it because I sleep with earplugs? And I got so worried because I heard the shrill beep. And if some people actually live with tinnitus, that's hell. I mean, you're actually going through hell every day of your existence. And mine, it actually distorted voices. And I said the most sad shit I've ever said to my kids. I was like, your beautiful voices. It's like my favorite sound, but right now I just need you to keep it down. I can't stand the high pitch. Kids' voices are beautiful. They're so cute. But the pitch of my daughter's voices was like hurting. It was getting distorted like a amplifier. It was broken or something. I was like, I can't be around them. That's a brutal one. Some people, I only had it for 3 days, and I'm like, is it coming back? That's a curse. But in those 3 days, I went to Kaiser. I met with an audiologist because I freak out when they go, there's no cure for that, sir. There's no treatment for that, sir. I go, it's 2026. It's time to cure everything and treat everything. But really, if you Google tinnitus, it's like, you got it. Yep, you got to live with that. And when I did my hearing test, they said, your ears look perfectly healthy. And I'm like, then what? Then I'm like, all right, now can I have the pill? Like, there is no pill for it. I was like, yeah, just give me the prescription because I can't live with the shrill beep. And I don't want to bring up suicidal again because I started off the episode that way. But if people are really living with in their ears all through the day, and people's voices go from this to, if that's how people sounded in your ear, and you had the backdrop of a shrill, stinging, high-pitched shriek, I don't know how you continue. And guess what? This is an absolute fact. My audiologist, this nice woman in Petaluma, this nice doctor, she's like, I have it. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, I have it at all times. And when she saw my face become so forlorn, and I was so sad to hear that, because I was in the throes of it myself. I was like, what? People can actually have this always? Like it's not temporary? She saw me and she said something so blunt. I actually like blunt. Believe it or not, I can handle it once in a while. She said, I'm clearly not the psychological profile of someone that could handle it. Because I was just explaining to her, I don't want to do this anymore. My kids' voices, I can't podcast. I can't teach. I can't do anything. I can't sleep. It was 3 rough days, but I'm fine now, folks, okay? You could contribute to the GoFundMe. What are we funding? I don't know, but I got to keep the earbuds out, because if you got AirPods in all day, I really do think we're harming ourselves. I think when we were in the pandemic and I was doing Zoom classes and teaching, I went to an audiologist because everything hurt. There's things about Zoom communication and FaceTime and these phone calls and even probably doing this podcast because I wear earpods or earbuds or, hey, Airbud, the old movie about a golden retriever plays basketball. But I got too much shit in my ears at all times, and I sleep with it, and I went to Great Wolf Lodge, and I had earplugs the whole time because I don't want to hear a bunch of that chaos on the water slides, and I experienced Great Wolf Lodge like a deaf man, and it was nice to be a deaf man. I would just look at my wife in the arcade, and that arcade is designed for one thing, and that's to give you seizures, but I looked at my wife where there's so many claw machines. It's not just video games when I say arcades, and she had to experience it like full blast volume, and I was just glad to be deaf the whole time. And I was signing things to her like, should we go? How many tickets do the girls have? Is it time for Coors Light and nachos? Great Wolf Lodge was spectacular. Do I have bacterial meningitis? Of course. Do I have a rash from my knee to my chest? Big, giant, yes. But it was fun as fuck. I mean, it's clean too. A lot of people avoid it because they're like, Great Wolf Lodge, no thanks. Being with 300 other kids screaming on water slides, I don't think it's dirty. Like Windsor Waterworks with those mats, that was dirty shit. That was dirty with the Tambark splinters in your feet. But Great Wolf Lodge, I got to tell you, after they upcharge you to $1,000 every step and you go in the room and the kid's cabin has a bunk bed and wallpaper of a few little turtles and raccoons, cartoon raccoons, you're like, I'm a Parent of the Year candidate. I'm doing my job because that's all we're doing. If you have little kids, that's all you're doing. Kid-friendly everything. You don't take vacations for yourself. You don't take little trips to just go to wine country anymore. You got to find a train town. You got to find a playground. You got to find a Great Wolf Lodge with water slides. You got to find a kids menu. You got to find a claw machine to grab more stuffies. You need more stuffies in your house? Fuck no, you don't need more stuffies. Do your kids want some more? Yeah. Your kids dream about having more stuffies. And you're like, when I was growing up, we just had 1 or 2. My sister had Kitty and Butterscotch, these mangled stuffies, and I had Bob the Bear. And Bob the Bear's nose fell off, and I didn't care. I think Bob the Bear is still at Nana's house right now. I hope it is, actually. Isn't that weird that I'm still attached? I'm like, I hope Bob the Bear is still there in a drawer with my old underwear. Had to get a final rhyme. But let me welcome you all in and say I appreciate you being here. Here we go.
Oh, sweet, sweet dark-haired man.
Yeah.
Oh, please, please take my hand.
All right.
And lead me, lead me, lead me, lead me on. The light soft on your brow, it shows how you're worried now. I could love you, love you, love you anyhow.
Such sweetness, huh? Such sweetness. All right, folks, where are we? The end of February, getting into March, which is my favorite month because it's full of college basketball and corned beef and Irish whiskey and all the things we love so much, so much. And this is the time of the year where I look into the mirror and I go, hey, dough ball, it's time to hit the gym hard. It's time to get that body back. When I say body back, what body image do I have? Like, I looked at my belly. It's, it's not what I want. And my wife's like, why do you have a problem with it? Like, you got the wife, you're fine, you're healthy. Like, why? And I'm like, that's a good question. Like, if we have imperfections in our body and it's just slight, like it's not unhealthy, it's just to our own eyes, we're like, I don't like looking at this belly. I want a six pack. I'm like, I kind of want one of those old school American Gladiator bodies. I'm from a different era. And I realized this because I was watching The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, in this movie, The Smashing Machine. And it's not a great movie, but if you're like me, of course you're going to watch The Smashing Machine with Dwayne Johnson. And he looks comically shredded. Like the amount of testosterone and Winstrol and Deca, Diana Ball, this guy's just injecting into himself. He has one of these bodies that looks like AI, but it's really The Rock, who's going to the gym and just using a massive amounts of steroids to look like that. And God damn it, I respect it. I don't judge it at all. Actually, I do the opposite of judge it. A part of me envies it. And now I think a lot of wives who sit on the couch and are forced to watch this movie, or maybe you wanted to on your own, but a lot of wives, they look at those bodies and they go, ew. Like most wives are like, ew, that is too much muscle, too many veins, too vascular. And I'm like, yeah, ew. But on the inside, I'm like, I kind of want that. Like most husbands are thinking, how much testosterone do I need? Like, I don't know. I could find some syringes on the corner. I used to live 15 minutes from Tijuana to go to the Farmacia. Like, we grew up with the Arnold years. If you're my age, we grew up with Stallone, Schwarzenegger, Van Damme. It shaped us. Like, what's your body image shaped by? Who do you think looks good? It's probably someone when you were younger. And I guess I idealized Arnold. Is fantastic. I love it. I love big, dumb, crazy, cartoonish muscles. Is that my goal at the gym? Fuck no. I could barely do anything anymore. I'm in there like an old man who's barely on the lat pull down with 70. Here's me doing 70 pounds on the lat pull down. I go, and what's on my earbuds? What am I listening to on Spotify as I do that? Paul Simon. She loves me like a rock. She rocks me like a rock, oh baby. She loved me. She loved me, love me, love me, love. What an old man doing 70 pounds on the lat pull down with dee 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 dee. That's You Could Call Me Al. The first part of You Could Call Me Al. Paul Simon. I'm not listening to Travis Scott like the kiddos. I'm trying to get the body back to Arnold status. Fantastic to be, I remember Arnold said after a workout, you should have a can of tuna in the morning, get that protein. And he was right. I still eat more tuna than I should. I've probably poisoned myself mercurially. Not a word, maybe a word, but probably misused. He poisoned himself with tuna, and it was on purpose. As our former governor told him it's the right thing to do in the hit documentary Pumping Iron, where Arnold said lifting weights is like coming. It's like coming all over the place. I'm like, yeah. I think he has a point. Maybe he doesn't, but still, he was our governor, and you better respect his policies. Just like all of our politicians. We need to respect their leadership because they are people of dignity and integrity, and holy shit, what am I talking about? But the smashing machine, it's actually such a dumb plot because there's one guy who should be the star of the movie, not played by The Rock, and that guy's not the focal point of the movie. That guy is the one who eventually emerges as the champ, as the winner, but instead we got to focus on Dwayne Johnson, who's not the champ. Spoiler alert. You're supposed to say spoiler alert, I think, before the rant. I'm still learning. I'm still learning. You ever use I had this thought the other day at Starbucks. When you're with the family and someone has to go to the bathroom and you're like, ugh. Like, we all have to go to the bathroom. Why are we like, ugh, when someone has to go to the bathroom at an inopportune time? Because you're like, that bathroom's going to be gross. There's some gross bathrooms. Like, you ever been at a farmer's market and someone's like, I got to go to the bathroom? You're like, no one's going to the bathroom. At a ball, ugh, no. It's just going to be a sprayed on toilet seat with just like the most heinous smell floating through the air. But you ever get so pissed off at someone who used a Starbucks bathroom before you? Like, you're actually angry with them? You know what I mean? Like, you're judging. We all shit. Like, everyone creates the worst smells ever. But if it's someone else's and the bathroom's still hot, it's still hot with their scent, and you have to bring one of your daughters in there, and you're like, everyone's like nauseous, and plug your nose. And you're like, I think that smell could get into my pores. Like, you need a shower afterwards. You ever feel angry with a total stranger? Like, how dare you defecate in here into a toilet in a public bathroom? What is wrong with you, sir? But you sprayed jet engine fuel all over this bowl. And I want to find you. And I want to bring you back into here and hold you by your double chin and say, what are you eating? How did you produce that? Do you just eat kimchi on a pile of chicken tandoori underneath a bigger pile of tapioca yucca? You sick fuck. Why am I angry? We all do it. We all create the worst smells ever, but you don't want to follow that person at Starbucks. Let me tell you. And then you're like, do I even want coffee? Do I even want a cake pop and a crumble coffee cake? Which is, I'm releasing my top 25 cakes. Coffee cake is now my number one. Moving carrot cake down to number 2. My wife says chocolate lava, but that's not even in my top 5. No thanks. I mean, it's in my top 10, of course. But if we're really talking cakes, number 1 is coffee cake from Starbucks. Oh my God. Why do we call it coffee cake? Why not cinnamon? It's cinnamon. It tastes nothing like coffee. That's one of the most poorly labeled things on a menu. Is bread pudding a cake? If it is, it's now number 3, right after carrot. And you're like, where's he going to round out the 5? Well, 4 is cheesecake, just classic. Not the cute Cheesecake Factory with all the flavors, just classic New York, white on the graham cracker crust, a little cherry raspberry marmalade. What do they call it? A reduction drip. Ooh, shit. Are you hungry right now? And then, Josh, that's only 4 cakes. You got another? Of course I got another. Pineapple upside down. Upside down pineapple cake. You didn't think I was going there? Remember Roy's, the old Hawaiian restaurant where Travis LeBoy would take me sometimes, and the waiter would come over and say, our dessert tonight involves an upside down pineapple, where if you're interested, we have to start now, baking it from scratch. And Travis would go, 3 of those. And I go, yep, 3 of those. Thanks, Trav. I was, where was I? I was on the couch. I don't have a show right now. I just watch sports, and my wife and I play Jeopardy on the pause button. We pause it every time. It takes us about 40 minutes to watch Jeopardy, and it's been so good lately. Ken Jennings doing a great job. And we actually watch it every single night. We don't skip a night. Like, we're up to date with the contestants as they were just doing the Tournament of Champions into the Invitational Tournament, which was fascinating. This guy, Andrew He, is he a real person? Is Andrew He a real person the way he played this game? Because he defeated 2 other contestants that were like Mensa genius, like genius robots. And then this other guy, he's just rolling, getting into that $30,000 range. But I'm realizing I got nothing. So I remembered there was a Mel Brooks on HBO, a Mel Brooks documentary on HBO. I was like, I gotta finally do this. But it was intimidating because it's like 2 different episodes, each 3 hours. I'm like, God, how much Mel Brooks can you take? The answer is all of it. And I want more. The Mel Brooks documentary, by the way, produced by Judd Apatow, who's like the modern day Mel Brooks. It's so freaking good. His upbringing, his career, his family life, his interviews, all the comics they interview to talk about Mel Brooks. I mean, there's never been another, and there never will be another Mel. And once you watch this, you're like, oh yeah, he did that, and he did that too. And he influenced that whole genre, and he changed the game on that, and he persevered. But one thing I took away from it was that he was so confident to be a short, silly-looking Jewish guy. Most short, silly-looking Jewish guys were not so confident and bombastic. Like, his whole character was kind of really him. And they interview Adam Sandler and Nick Kroll and Sarah Silverman, and they're like, being Jewish when we were growing up, you didn't like flaunt it. It wasn't cool. You're almost embarrassed. Sarah Silverman's like, you almost had to come out of the closet at school and tell people, yes, I'm Jewish. But Mel was the opposite. He was just like, hello, I'm Jewish, and just let the world know through my movies. And all these mainstream Yiddish sayings and things like, we're only, less than 2% of the population of this country. But there's enough Mel Brooks content in the movies where Jewish culture is mainstream in some ways. And I know what you're thinking, the old stereotype of those Jews own Hollywood. Mel would laugh at that. Mel would promote that and joke about it. He knew how to laugh at himself, something a lot of us can learn to do nowadays. Stop taking shit so seriously. But everything about this documentary was fascinating, including how Jewish he allowed himself to be. And this is a time in Hollywood where you would change your name. You would change your identity. Don't let anybody know that I fast on Yom Kippur, but not this guy. Oh, no, not this guy. And what is Judaism? I was asking my friends, I was like, you guys going to raise your kids? It's like, I was asking Jewish friends, how do you raise your kids? How do you introduce God? It's a big conversation. My mom's like, what are you going to do with your daughters? Like, are you going to have a membership to a synagogue? And I'm like, I don't know. Are we really at this age where I think about this now? And like, how do you feed them the holidays? How do you have the conversation of that Easter bunny? It's not us. That's Santa Claus through the chimney. That's not us. We're more the matzah ball, the big cracker, the menorahs. And you're teaching this, and then you got to teach about like what? How deep do you get into it? You start talking about origin stories and doctrines and God, and you start talking about Moses and Abraham, and you start talking about a burning bush and Torah. And then do you talk about the other kids at school? They're with Jesus, and he rose from the dead. And then maybe there's other kids who are Mormons or Scientologists at school, and you got to tell their stories. And aren't they all just a bunch of stories? And even though I kind of like religion, I think there's a lot of value to it. It's just so clear to me, not to sound like George Carlin, but that it is a bunch of true hot bullshit. And I could buy some bullshit. We can all buy some bullshit. All of us, every day, we buy into some things where it's faith. You're like, I don't know if it's true or not, but it's my belief system. I buy it. But I was teaching Mormonism. Here's where I had this thought. Now I'm finally getting to the point. To teach U.S. history, you do teach the history of Mormonism, which is a U.S. creation. And if you don't know, the South Park guys have made fun of it a lot. And I think part of why it's made fun of by so many people is because it's so recent. Like if Mormonism goes back to the 1400s, I think it's just mainstream by now. And it probably is mainstream in parts of society. But when I'm teaching it, I know every year there's going to be some kids that like make some comments that I'm like, nope, nothing insensitive. It's part of the story of our country. And the kids that I overheard in one of my classes, they were talking about like, they were just talking to each other. You know, I shouldn't just always eavesdrop, but I'm always worried, like, are they going to offend people around them? So I do have to intervene. But they were talking about the story of Joseph Smith. And if you don't know it, I'll make it quick. We're talking about gold plates buried in the ground. And Smith, he says he was told to get these plates from an angel named Moroni. And those plates would reveal the secrets of ancient civilizations. And Jesus being in America. So it's taking the whole Jesus story, Latter-day Saints. I actually don't know what that means. Don't let me sound like I know what I'm talking about. But it only seems ridiculous because it's a recent story. I'm talking about the 1800s. And they've populated quickly. They have missionaries who attract more followers. And I think they're also around 2% of the population. I think there's as many Mormons as there are Jews in America, which is crazy to think about because Judaism's been around for so long. But go back to the origin story of Judaism. What is it? It's Abraham on a mountain talking to God. And God's like, here's the Torah. We got a covenant. All right, monotheism, one belief, one love, E40, one God. And then we're like, yeah, of course. It's from like what? Thousands of years ago. So that's an easier God story to digest. And then Jesus was a Jew. What's their origin story? Jesus starts his own ministry. He's a teacher. He has some followers. He dies. Oh, I know how he dies. A crucifixion, right? And then, oh shit, I probably should have Googled this. I know he rises from the dead, and then there's a bunch of miracles that his followers promote. They go, you like miracles? Then he's the God. He's the divine God. Let's follow him. Let's create a new sector of religion. I don't know. Shit. But what I'm saying is all of this sounds like wild sci-fi, right? It sounds like dystopian fantasy. It's cool for a lot of people that do like Lord of the Rings and a lot of people that like Game of Thrones. These stories are like pretty fascinating, but all the millions of people that follow it like doctrine, like that's our story, that's my path. It just is so many years that people buy into it that you don't question it as much. But if I was talking to teens like soon after Judaism was invented, if I was a teacher and I was like, and then Moses and burning bush and Torah time from a God. Who wrote the Torah? I don't know. And the Torah just arrived? Yeah, it just arrived. Who wrote it? God. He wrote it? Yeah. What's God? In the sky. What does he look like? God. What? Omnipotent. And then I just exit out the back door. I don't know. And Jesus rose from the dead. Was Jesus human? Yes, he was human. Can humans rise up from the dead? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Do you believe in miracles? Al Michaels, Miracle on Ice, Winter Olympics. Do you believe in miracles? If you do, then I guess you could buy into all of this, from plates buried into the ground. Like the story of Mormonism, there are people that don't bat an eye. They could just go, of course, Joseph Smith found the plates in the ground that proved ancient civilizations and that Jesus was in America, and that's how we should live under this belief system. We can't make fun of any of this shit because people are too touchy. We can't really make fun of it, but can't we? Can't we? Like, I am open to all Jewish jokes as a Jew. I'm open to all Mormon jokes and Christian jokes because funny is funny. But in a classroom, you got to kind of silence it because you don't want young people to feel offended. But you also want to teach, if it's teachable, to not be so thin-skinned. If we're going to share the planet, we can't be like, oh my God, you said what about what? We have to like teach people how to coexist. How do you teach people to coexist? Not by saying we mustn't ever joke about other groups, but by saying if you hear some of these jokes, some of them might be funny, some not. But a lot of humans are compelled to push the envelope and find the humor in shit. And that's something that should never, ever die. Never die, hey. And if you're the person that blows up the bathroom in Starbucks, I'm going to find you. How do you create that smell? It gets deep into our pores when we take our kids into the public bathrooms and we all want to barf 'cause of you, and you ruined our damn days. And if you think of anything else that we're currently doing that's dangerous, from earbuds to high heels to the Golden Gate Bridge type shit that I already talked about, there's probably a longer list, but how much stuff are we doing that's so unhealthy? Oh, sitting in our cubicles for 8 hours a day, so unhealthy. Think about the history of fitness. People didn't used to go to the gym. Ancient Homo sapiens. You're spending 9 hours a day hunting buffalo. You're killing the buffalo with your big muscles, with your big nomadic muscles, and then you're carrying the buffalo miles back. That's the right way to live. I honestly think so. I think whatever we're doing right now with our industrialized sit in your chair world and look at your screen, it's so unhealthy. Let's talk more about this before I get out of here. Hey, before I get out of here, we're up against the break. We got traffic and weather coming up next. But before I get out of here, I want to take a closer look at fitness in the ancient days. But let's talk hunter-gatherer. I was thinking about this. We're all kind of chunky, right? Even if you're in shape, it's probably because you're taking extreme measures with your gym membership or Ozempic or how much protein or calorie counting. Like, if you're in shape right now, you're doing something that's so hard in America with our big portions and our salted, fat fucking food. But the history of fitness, it's like just perfectly understandable. It's great. It's the greatest thing for our mental health, and no one needed to focus on it because it was how you lived. You had endurance built into your life. You had weightlifting built into your life. Mobility built into your life. Everyone was in shape. Everyone looked so good. Oh my God. Think about the year 800. Holy shit, you just carried all that firewood and all that buffalo and deer, and would you kill a bear? Let's eat that bear's nuts for dessert over a long distance to feed your family. Of course you slept well. Of course you didn't need Ambien. You just carried firewood. You killed a bison and fed your family over an open flame, and you reflect back on that. And what'd you drink? Just pure water. There was no need for iodine or purification. You just drank lake water, and it was good because you walked 10 miles over the last 10 hours, and you're shredded like Arnold or like Stallone or like LaBoy. You're shredded like all of them, just like our bodies. Like, you look at a body like The Rock, you're like, I'm not sure we should look that way. It's kind of interesting, but I want to see, there's no photos, obviously. I want to see what the real hunter-gatherer bodies look like. They must have been like beautifully ripped, like unbelievably shredded, not listening to Paul Simon on the lap pull down. But now our gym memberships, we're like, I got to get my steps in. Oh, we fucked up. We have to get our steps in. Why did we do this? Becoming so sedentary. I got to stop looking at my phone so I could look at my Chromebook, so I could look at my MacBook, so I could watch a movie, so I could project a lesson plan. And then this evening I'll go to bed with my graphing calculator and play some Tetris. And then, oh my God, get away from the device. Get the fuck away from the device. Even right now, you're listening to a podcast, put it away. Let's end this. Because I bet you're listening on a phone. Put the phone down. We're done. All right, this episode's in the books. I'll talk to you soon.